How hard is it really to replace the cabin air filter? This is a question I get asked all the time. I'm going to demonstrate for you on this beautiful Lexus GX 470 I've got behind me. This is actually a fairly simple process on this vehicle. There's not a lot to it. You can follow easily at home. Most of the Toyota products that you're going to service are going to have a similar installation process to this vehicle, with the exception of a couple of the higher end Lexus models where they have a recirculation door that covers the access port for the cabin air filter. If that's the case on your vehicle, don't try to pry it. It has to be moved electronically using the instrument panel and climate control features on it. So don't attempt that one on your own, but the rest of them, if it looks like this one, you should be good to go. Let's get inside the car and you can follow along. First, you want to make sure that you have everything clear on the passenger side of the vehicle. That's where we're going to access the glove box. Inside the glove box, you may have some contents in there. We want to make sure we remove everything, place it gently on the seat or on the floor where you won't disturb everything. And then we've got full access to the glove box. You take a look inside here. So inside the car, I've got the contents removed from the glove box. It gives us full access to what's inside the glove box. We've got to get all the way back to the glove box. There's going to be a small rectangle panel. We have to remove that panel. Underneath that, there's going to be another panel that closes and seals the access door for the cabin air filter. Let's take a look. So inside the glove box, this is the back panel. It's got two tabs on it. You can start by depressing one or both of these. Sometimes you can do one at a time. Sometimes if you reach like I'm doing, you can get both of them. Sometimes they're just loose enough. If you just pull one, you might get the other one. Either way, just try not to break the tabs off this flap. We want to reuse this when we're done. And then after you've got that out, you'll see there's another flap in here. This is the secondary flap. This actually seals off the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning box where the air filter is. So it's got a tab on this side. There's another one identical to it on the other side. And this also, if you note on here, I don't know if you can see from this view, I'll try to get a closer clip, that it has an up arrow on it. So we want to make sure when we reinstall this, we put this with the up arrow facing up. Otherwise, you're not going to be pushing the air filter back up into the cavity where it belongs. There's a couple of pieces on here I'll show you as we take it out that are designed to push up on the air filter. So if you could just get in here, you can pull both of them out. Okay, and here's what it looks like. And then you'll see these ramps on here. These ramps are designed to push up on this air filter so it holds it in place. So if you put this upside down, it's going to be hard to get in. It's also not going to have the air filter seated where it belongs. Now, once we've got that out, it's simple enough. We're just going to grab this filter and gently pull it out. And I say gently because a lot of times it'll be full of leaves and debris and all kinds of crazy stuff in here. So we'll take it out slow so we don't spill anything into the box. And then there you have it. There's your filter. Okay, so this is going to be the side that's generally dirty. It looks pretty clean in this car. And this will be the side that's clean. So a lot of these cabin air filters have a charcoal element to them. The charcoal helps reduce odors. Oftentimes with the cabin air filter, because it's taking air from outside the vehicle and bringing it in and it gets full of debris and dust, some of that stuff will start to generate an odor if you don't change your cabin air filter frequent enough. So we just want to make sure that with the charcoal filters in there, it helps kill some of that odor, or eliminate some of that odor, I should say. But the best preventive maintenance is just to change this as frequently as needed. I would say probably not more than 15,000 miles in between services, depending on where you live. We live in Las Vegas, and the desert here is very dusty, and a lot of times we'll take these, turn them upside down, and they're full of all kinds of debris. Probably a good indication we should change that anyway. So this air filter on here is showing you a direction of airflow. This arrow is pointing down, and that's because the air is moving from the top of this box to the bottom. So when we put this back in, make sure that your arrows point down also, or point in the direction of airflow. Just reverse the same procedure. You want to push it in all the way until you feel it seat against the back of the box. And then we're going to install our cover with the two ramps on the bottom and the up arrow pointing up. You may have to put one side in gently and then give it a wiggle to get that air filter to lift up a little bit as you push it in. You want to engage both the tabs so they snap. And then we can install the decorative cover at the back of the glove box. It has these three tabs. Those will go in to the slots, and then the top will clip in afterwards. just like that. Everything should be where it belongs. Now you can return all the components to the glove box that you took out, close the glove box, and you're all set. So I just wanted to give you a little advice here. I know this cabin air filter looks fairly simple to replace, and it is, and I've specifically chosen this one so that if you're a do-it-yourselfer, you can get accustomed or acquainted with what it's like to replace a cabin air filter. I want to give you a little caveat. There's a few vehicles out there that are much more difficult to replace. So if you're working on a Nissan or an Infiniti product, they do some wacky stuff. You have to remove the entire lower part of the passenger side glove box assembly. The glove box comes completely out of the vehicle, and it's a little bit more involved. Some of the Nissan filters especially, they have to fold up like a fan almost to get them into the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning box, which can be quite tricky. I'll probably do a video on one of those a little bit later on, but I wanted to give some of you early do-it-yourselfers an opportunity just to see what it looks like, and you may have an opportunity to do it on your own car if you're driving something like this one that's fairly straightforward and fairly simple. I also wanted to let you know that there's some other vehicles out there that don't place their cabin air filters underneath the driver's side glove box. So it might be located underneath the hood in the engine compartment. A lot of times they'll run it up along the top of the firewall. You might see them, located in various different places. Some cars have multiple cabin air filters, one for the passengers in the rear. So really best just to consult the owner's manual, see where the cabin air filters are, how many it might have, and what the process is to replace it before you dig into it. It may be a little over your head. If that's the case, I recommend you take it somewhere and have it done. If you're comfortable handling it, by all means, I'd say give it a try. Thanks for watching.